Fat Mystic Wizzy here, aka Andrew, coming at you with my Subterror profile. Not Guru Control, Subterrors. So, I didn't do too well. It's like, I had part of the problems with breaking my side deck cards for the bet. That was just basically it. But when it didn't, it did pretty well. So, without further ado, we're getting to the deck profile. 3 Subterror Gurus, one of the best things the OCG gave us. It basically is a search for the archetype, your Stratos, your Skulker, Bat Joker. And in this deck, what a lot of people don't realize is that it has a quick effect to book during your opponent's turn if you have another face-up Subterror, which Guru Control cannot take advantage of too well. So, yeah.
Guru Control. No, I'm kidding.
No, not Guru Control. It acts like it and it has aspects of it, but it also has the ability to...
nice map, though.
Yeah, this map, I zoomed on her a couple times, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. 3 Subterror Fiendus.
Are you sure it's not Guru Control?
Yes, I'm positive. You'll find the tech differences in a minute. Because the Fiendus, yet again, Guru Control, they usually don't take advantage of the second effect. The first effect, obviously, is the hand trap effect. The Forgotten effect is so she can book one other monster, doesn't have to be a Subterror. Any monster into face-down defense position to summon a Subterror monster from your grave or hand in face-up or face-down defense position. And due to timing, if you book her face-down and set this face-down, you can still activate Behemoth from hand because it does not miss timing. Because the last thing that happens is her flipping face-down, so it does not miss timing. But it will miss timing with hit our final roll, and I'll get to that when we get to it. 3 Stalgamos.
That's not Stalagmo.
I'm sorry. My bad, guys. It's a long day. The reason I play 3 is not because of hard one turn. I play Pot of Desires in this because I'm a poor person. I can't afford extravagance. Sorry, people. But I went with Desires, which did pretty well today. But that's why I play 3, because I don't want to risk both of mine getting banished off Desires. So, probably the best single Subterror on its own, just being able to banish at will anything you don't like in your way. I actually got a Kagari with this once, which was really funny, but they still were able to get me because of Mystic Mind afterwards. Next, yet again, this is where it starts deviating from control really quickly, is Ultramophis. What this card does is when it's flipped face up, it puts every other monster on the field face down. So, with Final Battle and things like the trap card, Behemoth, or no, Burrowing, I can flip this up during my opponent's turn as they go to make their plays, like in the Thunder Dragons. A lot of them like to put 3-4 monsters on the board before they link summon, and on the 4th monster, flip this face up, and they just lose their entire turn. They just can't go anywhere because they waste all their resources and have nothing to extend with, so...
So what you're saying is you hate UCT booking, but U booking is fine.
This guy doesn't tackle monsters and doesn't destroy them.
Know.
That's the difference. And the quick effect requires another card to work, in theory.
So does mine.
You just need a monster. I had to have a specific named card. But yeah, in a way.
I know. I'm kidding.
Yeah, they have their similarities. I'll at least admit it. Now, my spicy tech, and I don't know why Guru Controls don't play this. I wish I would have bumped this 3, is 2 Subterror Behemoth Volterra. Words, Andrew. Volterra. Okay, I'm butchering it. You know it.
Volteric, whatever it's called.
Yeah, I know. Terraloric.
Terraricaru.
Yeah.
Guess what type it is? Look at it.
Thunders.
Look at it.
Yes. So when you go to use the effect to special it from hand, that is a Thunder activating. So you can summon this bad boy. Yes.
Yeah.
And it's like Guru Control.
Subterror summoning Colossus.
Yeah, and it's like just play one of it, Guru searches. So my recommendation, and everybody around me didn't think that worked, and they said they didn't think of it. I even got a Guru Control player saying, and they went and bought a playset from the vendors. I mean, in Guru Control, in this deck, you want to control your opponent to an extent anyways. Why not just add that control to a bigger extent? So.
And because it's engraved, you can banish it for protection.
Yeah, and I even got it to flip effects to brainwash something once. Just once, but it wasn't worth it in the end, so 2 Stalgamo. When the Subterrors first came out, this was more important. Now with Guru, this is not near as important. It's just there in case I need the extra draw. 9 times out of 10, I end up discarding it for effects or getting banished off Desires. I banished 2 of these off Desires almost every time, so yeah. But it's there just in case you need it. 2 Subterror Archers, one of the biggest mistakes ever made. I really should have dropped her to 1. The reason they play 1 in the Guru Control is for a flip effect. But in this format, I have Ultramophis for that, so her effect to put back in the deck isn't as important. But I really should have dropped this to 1, but I might keep it 2. I really don't know. Like, I'm iffy on it still, so. And the 1 Stago Kraken, just in case I got stuck against a back row heavy deck, I found myself siding this out a lot.
Yeah, did you side it out ever?
Yeah. If I fought any Orcus, I would have kept this in there because I would have baited out that counter trap. So, yeah. So that's it for the monsters, and that's why it's different for Guru Control is, guess what's not in the main deck, people? No hand traps outside of this, which isn't, yeah, so. Anywho, So for the spells, we have obviously the only non-budget card about this deck. The 5 copies of Hidden Cities.
Are pretty looking field spells.
Yes, they are. The Hidden City, like I said, has multiple verses. The main effect that Guru Control cares about is the Activate the Search in the flip face up. But what a lot of people don't know about this card, it has an attack negation effect, and a lot of people attack not realizing it has it. So when your opponent declares attack, you can flip one face down Subterror monster into face up defense position to negate the attack. And it is not to be on a Subterror monster. So you can protect anything you want with it, and that monster will get its flip effect. So being able to negate the attack, Ultram Officer board is just as stupid, and there's like, this is what makes the deck work. I actually ended up desiring 2 of this and 2 terraformings once, and it hurt a lot. So yeah, so this is mandatory. This is the key card of the deck. So yeah. 1 Subterror Cave Clash. The Spice. What this card does is, for every set monster in the field, including your opponents, all Subterrors their face up gate for attack and defense. Which means if you go to attack into wall face down, they will get the defense upon flipping face up. But the other effect that people don't know about this card, which is why it's a niche one of, is anytime battle damage will be inflicted via Subterror, whether they attack into it, vice versa, by battle damage, you could add any Subterror card from your graveyard into your hand. So you could recycle Fiendus, recycle Umastrix that might have been destroyed by battle, etc. And it's a really good card to side out. That's one reason I liked it. It was a good side out tech. So here's the real Spice. 3 Pot of Desires.
Spice is the poor man's extravagance.
Yeah, it pretty much is. In Guru Control, they can't afford this. But in this deck, when you're playing multiple behemoths, as long as you don't banish too many of your Fienduses or your cities, you're good. Like, I can even banish 2 Gurus and be fine with it because there's reoccurrence with that. So
yeah, Guru Control has too many. It needs its grind game really bad.
Yeah.
And with this, it doesn't have it.
Yeah, so Desires is really good. But believe it or not, the only really bad mill I had, I mentioned, was the fact was the Hidden Cities. So, I mean, that was really the only bad mill I had that day. And it's like, I still did Control. I just mine. So, double Twin Twisters.
Hey, where's that mine? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, that's what cost me game, people. Anywho, I honestly, not gonna lie, I wish I had 3 of this. It was so sad. I accidentally set a side deck card when I should have kept it in my hand. And I had this in hand, and they activated Metaverse. Had I had a card in hand, he said I probably would have had that game. That was sad. Never really Twin Twister in hand without a card to discard. I main 2 Called by the Graves because Ash hurts this deck a lot. If you get that Guru at the wrong time, you get that Hidden City at the right time, it will just make your day horrible.
Why not 3?
The reason I space constraints, basically. I didn't want to see too many of these. I really only needed to stop the Ash. That was the main reason, was to stop hand traps. Most monster effects I could deal with Subterror Fiendus, but to get that board, I usually had to search. Once I had Fiendus going, it was usually good. Speaking of Fiendus, 1-for-1, special to the field, because she can send herself from the field to negate. Pretty self-explanatory.
Spice.
Monster Reborn, yet again, I play a whole bunch of beat sticks. Why wouldn't I want to be able to Monster Reborn a 3000 beat stick, or take your Borreload, which I did once this game. I took someone's Borreload, even though it didn't matter. The only one of the 2 hands I didn't break that game.
Yeah.
One reasoning, because with all the levels, like, you could guess 1 or 4, but if you get stuck with a behemoth, you might be in bigger trouble than had you just declared a higher level. So really, really good. So for the trap lineup, we have 3 Subterror Final Battles. Yet again, another MVP of the deck. What this card does is it activates 1 of 4 effects when it flips face up. You can either book a Moon one, flip 1 face up, make its attack and defense become its combined attack and defense each. So like he's 16 and 18, his attack and defense will both become 34 because 16 plus 18 is 34. And that can activate in damage calc even when they're face down. So when they flip face up, you chain this to do that, and they're walking into 4,800 defense point walls. That hurts. So yeah. And also be able to book your monsters. Now, this will cause the card to miss timing because the last thing that happens is it resets itself. So if you book a monster with this, you cannot summon a behemoth off that. Fun fact. The more you know. Another tech if I'd seen a lot more this day, probably would have went a lot better, was Subterror Behemoth Burrowing. You know what this does is it has 3 effects. The first effect is you can banish 1 Subterror monster from your graveyard to make all set cards immune to targeting and card destruction. So that means they can't blow them up. They literally have to go in battle and kill them, and that's what you don't want to do with the behemoths. You want to blow them up while face down, but you can't. So the other effect is if your opponent's dumb enough to Twin Twister these, I can chain the effect to get the protection, and I get to search any Subterror monster from my deck. And that little,
when it's destroyed, you have to search.
Yeah, it's kind of like Artifact Sanctum in a way. And the third effect that people don't even realize is this card allows you to banish it to set one face down defense position. The little thing people didn't know about. So yeah.
Cyclic effects.
Yep. And the biggest regret, and I probably would have turned this into a flipping third call by the grave, was back to the front. My theory behind this card was I want them all in face up defense position anyways because they have higher defense. But half the time I'll sign this out because it was too slow in this particular variant. In Guru Control, you could probably find a little better success, but in this variant, it was just too slow.
What's your main deck count?
42.
42.
With 3 Desires, Gurus, Terraformings, I thought I could get away with an extra 42, and I didn't
Probably.
So,
I'm surprised.
The dreaded side deck. So, we'll go with that card last, because that was the one I talked about. So, first of all, 3 Artifact Lancias.
This is extremely standard.
Extremely standard nowadays. Thunder Dragons, Orcus, even...
It's a lot of decks.
Yeah, even hits a lot of Rogue, too. One deck I thought was a World Chalice player who he played a lot of banishing effects, so... yeah, really, really good. And unlike my friend here, this doesn't hurt me in any bitter way outside of burrowing, but I don't need that.
I don't banish on my opponent's turn, so leave me alone.
But you said it hurts you, too. Oh, yeah, when they use it
against you. Yeah, when
you.
they use it, yeah.
Yeah, so Artifact Lancia, not a bad card. It's standard, I think. I was even considering maining it, but the one I really should have mained, the only hand trap I truly played was Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries. My logic with this is since I don't have the extravagance, I need to find a way to take advantage of the extra deck. So I'll show you in a minute, but the extra deck was just loaded with a bunch of crap just to say no.
It's kind of Guru Control's theory, basically.
Yeah, but Guru Control doesn't like playing this because they prefer the extravagance to banish. So
they play both.
No, they actually don't play Winter Cherries. They play...
Then what's the point of the extra... Okay, never mind.
The extra extravagance, literally for draws. That's literally it.
Sure.
Yeah, and I should have mained those, though. To Gauzen match, I stuck a lot of decks that had, Sky Strikers can play around this. And the other 2 decks where I could have sided in, it didn't really matter because by the time they just could play around it way too easily. So, yeah, I probably wouldn't play that in where that got sided too easily against. 2 Raw Spear modes. Both times I opened these at really bad times. What I do is Guru Control usually wants to go first, can go first, or go second, but prefers to go first. And both times I had options and went first. I just happened to open both of them. So, but yeah. So Raw Spear mode was being a troll. There can only be one. Problem is I fought decks all day that ran different types. I actually didn't find any single attribute decks today.
Single types.
Single type decks, and this deck literally doesn't have a type.
You only have strikers, so.
Yeah, it's I thought about that, but Sky Striker should have can play around this way too easily. That's the problem. They can.
Outside of an afterburner.
It's not that. The Guru Control, if I can't get Behemoths quick enough, they can sit on the Shizuku and keep lowering my Behemoth's attack points. That's the problem.
I guess.
Yeah. And this Cosmic Cyclone, because I wanted more spell and trap destruction, but I didn't want more blowing up ones because of things like True Draco, which I do have a hard time with in this deck. Because Monarch's Rebel just make my day go sour real quick. So, yeah, my side deck cards just love me a little too much. For those that complain that they don't see them, me and my friend saw them too much. When you open 3 Reapers in one hand.
Yeah, I had a handful of them,
So, the extra deck of Cherry Fuel. So, we'll go with the Cherry's targets first.
It's a lot of stuff.
One regret I'll say with this was Salmon Great Sunlight Wolf and Baylings. At the last minute, I realized I should have made this an Electromite. It didn't matter in the end, but it's with this extra deck, it's I was trying to figure out what side deck.
Yeah, well, because this grabs their field spell, but this is the main playmaker.
Yeah, with this mentality in mind, the way I'd done it, I should have made Cherries, and it's I can't get away with it. So Sky Strikers, pretty sanatory.
I need those back, by the way.
Yeah, I know. I might pick one of these up tomorrow. A fun fact for me, I would actually prefer to Cherries this first. Because when you have Umastrix and other thing like that in there, you can get rid of the Kagari easily on your own.
Early game always hit Shizuku. People didn't understand that for the longest time.
Yeah.
Even when this was at 3, early game you wanted to hit Shizuku because this is your searcher really, really early game. Now they've managed to figure out how to do it early and late game, so still hit
Yeah,
Shizuku.
I still went Kagari because I usually played hand traps to deal with her, but that was just me personally. Everybody had their differences. The community actually was divided on this. But anywho, so for my Orcus matchup, I was just not pulling any punches. I went Mermaid. I went Galatia. And I went Bardache. I was just saying no to the Aura Custom
Honestly, because
matchups.
there are decks that do play
Bardache outside of that,
yeah. Bardache and Mermaid outside of Orcust.
Yeah, so
I didn't see any, but I know they do.
yeah, like some Danger Thunder. I actually saw a Danger Thunder player next to me going to Bardache. They played the Danger Thunder engine. They went the Danger went to this and had a Colossus backed by 2 Fog Blades.
That's stupid.
Yeah, exactly. So for those same, okay, so for the random Crusadia / Thunder Dragon players, we had Aggerpain.
Super good cherries hit. I didn't even think about it until like the night before.
I said did he had Aggerpain too, so it's like Skull Dread. He gave me this idea because I realized a lot of Rogue play this.
I love Rogue and Thunder. Honestly, Thunders make 2 of it. Get rid of it.
Yeah.
The arrows are too busted.
See, it's like, if I think they're going to go into Colossus, I need Colossus out of the way, because I need to search. I'd rather them plus off their ass than being able to stop me from searching. Speaking of Colossus, one of the things, thanks to my brother Dustin from the channel, the cameraman usually, I'm probably going to get 2 of these of my own and make a little Colossus engine here, because I actually went into this a lot, and people around me are saying, wow, he went into it, no one thought of that. Like one Guru Control player actually said they're going to tech this in and try it at their locals, so, and it's like, that's just, why wouldn't you? So, yeah. The funniest unintended cherries target, Mech Knight Crusadia Avermax. I ended up getting this in a World Chalice player, and that was their main strategy, and I just happened to have it in there just as a troll.
He guessed it, right? He was like, what's your win con?
No, actually, I saw game 1, I got him game 2 with it. I knew that was his win con.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't that random, because I didn't main it. But yeah, so the other 4, just irrelevant, they're just in here to be in here, is Fiendus, because you know it's a Subterror monster, but don't play this.
I made him to do it.
It's garbage, people. This name should be Shadal Behemoth Fiendus. This is garbage in Subterrors. For those that don't know, the problem with her is the Subterror's flip effects, the special, require to control nothing but face-down monsters. Guess what Lynx can't be? So she actually destroys the Behemoth's summon mechanic. So, yeah. In Guru Control, maybe. My version, garbage. One Borolo, just because it's there. One Nightmare Phoenix, which I actually did go into and used it if I had to blow something up.
Surprise.
But it's like it was just there as a troll. But the biggest troll of all, this whole video has been Zarks. Just because I wanted to play it in the XX for no reason whatsoever. So yeah. Like,
Did you have fun though?
The one Sky Striker player I did, I had fun, but it's like I wish I could have done more of the deck because, like I explained, I was opening up. I had 3 rounds where I opened up a hand literally of nothing but side deck cards, like so. Yeah, so. But the testing I did beforehand, it did pretty well. I just think I just had a really rough, unlucky day. So, we'll see you later. Hope to see you guys at the next regional, whatever it be. Peace out.